Welcome back to the Observable Unknown. A strange thing has happened to modern life. Human beings now possess more information than any civilization in history. And yet, clarity is collapsing. Not despite the excess, because of it. Humans often imagine knowledge as additive. More data, more input, more perspective, more truth. But systems don't work that way. At a certain point, volume stops clarifying. It begins obscuring. It initiates obfuscation. In 1948, at Bell Laboratories in New Jersey, Claude Shannon established the mathematical foundations of information theory. His concern wasn't philosophy, it was transmission. How does a signal survive interference? How does meaning arrive intact across distance? In Shannon's framework, noise wasn't merely sound. Noise was anything that degraded the integrity of the signal, anything that reduced accurate transmission. That definition has become civilizational because modern culture doesn't suffer from lack of information. It suffers from catastrophic signal degradation. At Princeton University, Daniel Kahneman spent decades studying judgment, cognition, and attention. What his work demonstrated repeatedly is that human beings don't process information cleanly, they simplify. They choose to conserve energy. They substitute difficult questions for easier ones. And under overload, the mind doesn't become more analytical, it becomes more impulsive. This is why high information environments often produce low-resolution thinking. The organism protects itself. Attention fragments, discernment weakens. Novelty overrides depth. Urgency overrides proportion. And eventually, the nervous system loses its ability to distinguish importance from interruption. This isn't accidental. Entire economies now compete for attention extraction, not for understanding, not for coherence, for capture. Your focus has become infrastructure, and infrastructures are mind. In a simplified neuroscience of intuition, I examine how the brain often recognizes patterns before conscious articulation catches up. But intuition depends upon signal integrity. If the system is saturated constantly, pattern recognition degrades. The organism becomes reactive rather than perceptive. This is why overstimulated people often mistake exposure for understanding. They tend to confuse contact with comprehension. Seeing 1,000 fragments isn't the same as perceiving structure. In many cases, it prevents structure. This is also why silence has become psychologically difficult for so many people, not because silence is empty, but because signal begins emerging there. And once signal emerges, unresolved things become audible. A distracted person can remain uncertain for decades, not because truth is unavailable, but because noise prevents sustained contact with it. This applies to individuals. It applies to cultures. It applies to civilizations. When signal collapses long enough, societies stop distinguishing importance from spectacle, wisdom from confidence, visibility from legitimacy. And once that confusion stabilizes, manipulation becomes exceptionally easy. An excess of information doesn't produce clarity. More often than not, it destroys it. Because clarity isn't built from accumulation, it's built from discernment. It's built from filtration, from sustained attention directed toward what remains coherent after the noise is removed. If this sat with you, please notice it. Acknowledge it with a rating or a review, not for validation, but for signal, so that it can find who it is meant to find. And until next time, remember, you don't become what you feel. You become what you return to. And what you return to returns as you.